Are you looking for an athletic scholarship? You're in the right place. This is the Recruit Me Athletic Scholarship Podcast, the longest-running podcast on recruiting and athletic scholarships. We're here to help your family navigate the recruiting road all the way to an athletic scholarship. He's a recruiting expert and a dad of a D1 athlete and a newly committed high school athlete that just received an athletic scholarship. He's got a wealth of experience to share. Here's Recruit Me CEO, Brent Hanks.
Welcome to episode 298 of the Athletic Scholarship Podcast. This episode is part 2 of a 2-part interview with a college basketball player, Quinn Nelson. Quinn is a 6'3", 170-pound shooting guard for the Southwest Baptist Bearcats in Bolivar, Missouri. Southwest Baptist University, or SBU, is an NAIA Division II school in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. In Quinn's senior year, here in the 2021-2022 season, he was named the Great Lakes Valley Conference Player of the Year, First Team All Great Lakes Valley Conference, D2 CCA Midwest Region First Team, and NABC Midwest Region All Second Team. Quinn holds records at SBU for the most games and most minutes played. He started every game over his 4 years. He holds the record for the most career three-pointers made and the best career free throw percentage. Quinn and his Bearcats had a 21-6 record this season. He also holds school records at Ozark High School and many accolades from high school. Last week's episode 297, was part 1 of the interview with Quinn. Listen to last week's show to hear Quinn's background, his recruitment to SBU, and how his club play and practice routine affected his recruitment. We finished part 1 with a question to Quinn about things he did right and wrong during his recruiting process. So here we go with part 2 of the interview with Quinn Nelson. So Quinn, tell us some things that you think you did right during your high school recruitment into college, and then some of the things that maybe you would have done different now that you kind of look back on it.
There's a couple of different things, and I know it might change for some people, but because my recruitment was kind of slow in high school, I kind of wanted to take my time. I didn't want to push anything during the season. I really wanted to focus on trying to win as much as I could in my senior year of high school. And I was talking to college coaches, and they even sometimes they put deadlines on me and stuff. And some people, the recruitment process is really stressful and they want to get it over with. But when it was kind of slow for me, I kind of just wanted to see what else I could get, or maybe I was going to make a state run and someone was going to come in at the last minute that really interests me or something. So I think it was good that I took my time and really helped weigh out my options as I kept playing. But that changes back and forth. But I think just being able to talk to a lot of people about it, obviously talk to the coaches, but when you're getting recruited that the coaches are going to be really they're going to sell you on a lot of high points, and they're going to really sell the university and what they are, which is all good. And they're going to give you high points, which is all valuable. But I think talking to the players on the team was really important for me. And more than just like surface level stuff, like asking if they like it or asking like if the school is cool or like stuff like that. I remember asking one of the seniors who was like a junior at that time, who would have been a senior my freshman year. I was putting him through the ringer with questions, just like really making sure that if I was going to invest a long term at SBU, that I was going to know what I was getting into. And so I was asking him about coach. I was putting him in certain situations, asking him like, when things get like this, what's the team like? Like, how is your relationship with everybody on the team? I just want to know for sure if I was going to fit in with these guys. And I just took my time. My jury, I talked to their players a lot. I just talked to a lot of people, and not that those guys answered those questions wrong, but I just felt like it was more of a fit with me at SBU. And, getting on campus really helps. I know visits aren't always possible if it's distance or whatever it is, but visits are really valuable. And you just get a feel for everything when you're on campus, and being able to talk to professors and just being able to talk to people outside the basketball team or whatever sport you're involved with, being able to get good insight from that I think that's pretty valuable, and just getting a well-rounded view and seeing the community and just a lot of things just outside of basketball. And then I guess another valuable thing I said is I just took my time. I made a big poster board or whiteboard. We listed out a lot of pros and a lot of cons of each school, and just me and my family did. And we would look at it, we'd update it and just go through it. And at the end of the day, it just made sense what was the pros and the cons of possible schools and what was laid out for me, and be able to see that and see the visualization of it helped us out. And then spending a lot of time in prayer and just really falling back on the people who are looking out for you. And then something I'd change probably, I think just because of how slow it was. And if you're a recruit that's like really trying to get out, like you really want to get out there. I wish I would have emailed and reached out to schools asking about like their interest in me, send them my film, my stats, my GPA. I just kind of let I just played and I let whoever wanted to come talk to me, which is okay to a point. But I think there's no harm in just reaching out and sending your stuff out to people that you're interested in. If there was a school out there that was really cool and they're just too far away to ever hear about me, I think I probably could have helped myself out by sending out my film and my stats, and we could have gotten in touch, but I just didn't do that. And I just think that's a good way for people to, like, there's no shame in just reaching out to people. And if the worst they can say is no. So I just think that's something I would have changed, just reached out to maybe some small D1s or other D2s, just put my stuff out there and see what they had to say about it.
Well, and you mentioned that you ask questions to players and professors and different people. When did you do that? Did you reach out on your own? Did you do that at official visits or unofficial visits?
Yeah, I mean, if I got to meet the players, those were a lot of the official visits. So I'd get their phone. Like every visit, you'll have a host, and so if I was getting hosted by somebody, or if I clicked with somebody on the visit, I would just ask for their phone number, and I would just text them every once in a while. If they have a game, I'd text them about it and just see what the vibe was like with them and the team, if they won or lost. And especially nowadays, everybody's reachable on social media. You can just search in their name, find the roster, find them on Instagram or Twitter, and just reach out to them. But yeah, I mean, the professors, those are a little more scheduled. Those are on, like, when you're getting those visual visits on tours, and they're able to answer those questions. But yeah, hitting those players up, that's valuable stuff, man. If they can just be transparent and honest with you, that's really good insight.
Quinn, what are a couple questions that you think a prospective student athlete should ask the college coach during their recruitment?
Yeah. I mean, there's a plethora of questions you should ask. I mean, I think one of the first things you have to establish is, what's that coach's future look like at that school? You know, are they at the end of their contract? Are they planning on staying around? If a better offer comes around, will they leave? Because those are the people that are trying to invest in you, and you don't want to commit to them and then they jump ship the next year or 2 years. So you want to make sure that you're established with them and you know what their goals and intentions are. One thing that I'm doing right now in my recruitment process, and what I did then, is just ask them what their culture is like on the team. Obviously they're going to tell you good stuff, but still you can get a feel for what they say about it. If they avoid certain characteristics, so they talk about how hard we work and how competitive it is and all this stuff, but they don't talk about anything about the relationships in the team and the guys enjoying being around each other, then that might be like a warning sign, because they would have said that if that's a big part of them. So just really trying to understand the values of their team and what they live by. You know, if you want to go to college and get enjoyment out of your process and just like enjoy, like I said, just enjoy it and get the most out of it. And you want to be happy with the people that you're around. So just ask them questions about that. And also you can always just ask them, like, they're recruiting you for a reason. So how do they see you being utilized in their system and how you fit in what they do? So like for me at SBU, we ran a motion offense at Ozark, and that's exactly what they did at SBU. So it was like, I could see it. So he talked about seeing myself fit in and not taking much of a learning curve in terms of the offensive system. And that made sense to me. I wasn't going to have to just stay in the corner, or I wasn't going to be like a pick and roll guy, because that's not what they do. We ran the same offense. I knew, understand the cuts and the curls and all that stuff. And so I fit in that system. So just asking about that, and then just asking about their family and their lives, and just seeing what they're all about, is just getting to know each other really well.
Well, that's great advice. And then what advice would you give to a future college student athlete on how to prepare to go on to college and play, and also in the classroom?
I mean, everybody knows, like, it's so time consuming, and it really is. And I know it changed. I can only speak for the Division II level, and I know it's similar at every level, but I also know every team operates a little differently. But you got to like be able to manage your time well, and you got to put school and athletics first, because if you can't do your schoolwork, then you're gonna not be able to play. And it really isn't that. I don't think it's that difficult if you're just dedicated well enough to it. Obviously, the sport you play changes things, but it doesn't matter what sport you play. If you're on time to everything, and being on time does not mean showing up when it starts. Being on time means showing up at least 5 to 10 minutes early. But if you're on time to everything and you're coachable and you say yes, sir, and yes, ma'am, and you just are dependable, you're not going to they don't have to worry about you messing up off the field or off the court, or just making stupid decisions. You're going to find a good spot on that team. Like, there's certain attributes for each sport that are going to put you on the court to play, but if you're going to be in favor of your coach and you're going to enjoy it, you got to be dependable, and that'll put you in a good position. So just doing that as an athlete, hard work, dedicated, coachable, dependable, all that stuff. But in terms of the college life itself, I would say just schoolwork is schoolwork. Every class is going to be different. It's like you kind of learning in high school. You just got to do your homework and take care of your stuff. There's resources at the college level. You'll have study hall. Some schools you'll have tutors. There's resources to use if you'll just reach out and use them. But I would say just like get involved with other people and other stuff. Not necessarily having to join clubs or making other commitments like that, but just making friends outside your team. Just getting well around, because you're going to be around your people a lot. For me, basketball is year round. It's just such a long season. And so I love my guys, man, but I need some time away from them too. So I just making some good friends outside of your sport, just getting a feel for other people on campus and just seeing it, because other people operate differently. Everybody has a story, and it's cool to know other people, and maybe you'll get them to come to your games, and maybe you'll get to see what they're all about and just make some lifelong friends. So just get involved doing other stuff. Don't limit yourself to just tunnel vision on your sport.
Quinn, one last question here, and I know you got to get to class here in just a little bit, but is there any other piece of advice that you would want to give to both the student athlete and their family? You mentioned how your family worked together. Is there anything that you want to throw out there that would help somebody that's going to go through the process or is going through the process?
Yeah, I mean, you probably for sure know somebody that's been through the process already. I feel like most everybody's willing to help out, no matter if they've had a good or bad experience. If they had a bad experience, I assume they'd want to make sure other people had good experiences. And if they have a good experience, I assume they want to make sure other people have good experiences. So it's reaching out to people and asking. No, there's no shame in asking for help and advice about how they did it, and just reaching out to them. And I would just say, I mean, just make sure you're the right fit. I mean, there's a lot of schools. You're going to go to schools and they're going to offer you some nice gear, and they're going to offer you a cool locker room and just cool stuff and these things. But those things kind of fade away if you're just not happy there and you can't get along. And in a society, in a time where mental health is so important, it's being a student athlete strenuous, and you want to go somewhere where you're going to be happy and you're going to enjoy it. So just making sure you're fit, not only within the system of the sport, but the system of just the people you're around and the coaches and just people that you can be friends with and make relationships with off the field or court. Just making sure it's just bigger than that sport and that you're able to enjoy yourself and just be happy and make some memories and some good relationships.
Well, I sure appreciate your time. And if you want to make any big reveals on this podcast, you're welcome to give me a call, and we can reveal what your future holds down the road. But you are looking for an opportunity to continue to play, it sounds like, for at least another year. And do you have any professional ambitions?
Yeah. After this year, I'm definitely not opposed to trying to test the professional waters. And I know that's just a whole different process that I'm really not too knowledgeable about, but I definitely want to try to get the experience of going overseas and playing. There's just so many leagues out there that I think I could give myself a shot and play in it. I know I'm not trying to go over there and become a millionaire and go down as one of the best international players ever. Obviously, I'm not opposed to it if it happened, but I know I want to do something that just get the experience overseas, test that level out of playing. And then, I got to be able to start making some money and providing for my family and make something that's sustainable.
Well, Quinn, thank you for your time, and keep shooting threes. And hopefully we'll have you back on after your senior or graduate season. What's this season going to be called?
I assume it's going to be called my graduate year. That's what I'm going to call it.
And what are you graduating in your undergraduate, and what are you looking to do in your graduate school classes?
Yeah. So I'm a sports management undergrad. I'm going to graduate in May with a sports management major, an emphasis in sport administration with a minor in marketing. And then from there, I have a couple options with my master's degree. I could just get my MBA, but also I could do that. I could get a master's in athletic administration, sport administration, sport management, a lot of different stuff like that. Just something within marketing and business or sports, anything along that route, I'll probably get my master's degree in.
Well, that's great. Quinn, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on.
A big thank you to Quinn for taking time to visit with me and to give you, the Recruit Me family, some great information about not only his recruitment and some recruiting advice, but some insight into college sports. Join me next week on the Athletic Scholarship Podcast, and I will take part of the episode to break down some of the points Quinn made in his interview. The Athletic Scholarship Podcast is 15 minutes that will change your athletic scholarship future. Check out all the links in the show notes and go to recruit-me.com to take advantage of the free recruiting power pack and the Recruit Me 3.0 athletic scholarship system. I have a Recruit Me 3.0 combo special going right now. Click on the Recruit Me 3.0 tab for more information on this step-by-step recruiting program. Thank you for listening and see you next week.